Fine. One simple example. I have this Windows machine. In this Windows machine, I want to have this app called Zoom. So if you want to have a Zoom application on Windows, then what we'll do, we'll download like a zoom.exe file, and on this exe file, we'll try to install that. So we'll try to install that exe. Okay. Now, for example, here the thing is, 1 minute, Varun, అక్కడ disconnect ఇక్కడ కాల్ disconnect అయిపోయిందా, log out, end the call, echo వస్తుంది. Okay. Now, for this Windows, we have, if you want to have a Zoom, then we'll download this zoom.exe. I will install that the zoom.exe, and from there we'll try to access it. So this .exe extension is only for Windows. Now, what do you have for Linux operating system? What do you have for this Linux operating system? So for this Linux operating systems here, then what do you have is, we have a package administration called RPM, where RPM is called as Red Hat Package Management. RPM is called as Red Hat Package Management. So if for any package and every or any other thing here, if you want to have it in Linux here, in Linux we should have this called as RPM, Red Hat Package Management. It is nothing but a bundle. It's nothing but a bundle of package, so that when you install that particular RPM here, you will get whatever you require. For example, if you want to have a Zoom in Linux operating system, then we need to have a zoom.rpm. You should have zoom.rpm like this. An example. For example, if you want to have FTP, where FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, if you want to have that, then we should have ftp.rpm. So if you have this RPM, then only we can install it and we can work on it one. So what is this RPM stands for? RPM stands for Red Hat Package Management. It is nothing but a bundle of packages. And where do you get these RPMs from? So we can get these RPMs from our OS DVD, or you can download it from external source. From the internet, we can download from external source, we can download it, or most of the operating system, most of the RPMs which is required for operating system, we generally use that comes with OS DVD. Okay. Now I will show you today here that how to install this particular RPM to your system. Then if you want something, if you want to get it from external source, how can you get it from external source, how to install, how to check, all those things we'll see one by one. Especially if you want to install an RPM into your system here, we need to have a location here. So once if you go for this command called rpm -qa, see, all these are the list of RPMs that are installed in my system. So for every application or for every service, everything, we should require an RPM. And for that RPM, by default, all this comes with OS DVD. And if you want to query that how many RPMs are there in my system, let me cancel it. Then you can use this command rpm -qa. Let me check it out. Like if I grep vsftp, so if I want to check a specific RPM of a service called vsftp, see this vsftp, this stands for Very Secured File Transfer Protocol. RPM -qa, where Q means query, A means availability. To check the availability of these RPMs here, so I have executed this command. Now, if you go for this one here, vsftpd, this is one of your package. So you can see this is my package name, and all these things are versions. So version, release, all these are detailed here. When you go for EL6, that stands for this is supports for RHL6 operating system. RHL6 operating system, right? And these x86 means like architecture. Especially when you talk about this hardware architecture in Windows, we have x86 as well as i36, i86. So i386, some number is there, x64, i386. So for this VSFTPD, x86 is my Windows machine. This is our architecture, and the EL6 stands for RHL6. Suppose I have an RHL7 machine. In this RHL7 machine, if you install this EL6, that will not support. Why? Because EL6 is that the lower version. Okay, no problem. The lower version will support. You can install EL6 on EL7, but there may not be that much compatibility. But if you download EL7 and try to install it on RHL6, you cannot install. Let me check. When you go for this command /etc/redhat-release, when you execute this command here, you can see my operating system. What my operating system is 6.5. Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6.5. Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6.5. So in this Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6.5 operating system, okay, so EL6 means 6. If you try to install EL7, that will not work. Why? Because it will not support. You can install a lower version, but higher version, but we cannot install the higher version. Okay. Now, where do you get these RPMs from? How to install them? Suppose if you want to remove them, how do you remove them? Or if you want to upgrade them, how to upgrade them? We'll discuss all this one points. Now, like setting dspace -h, where display file systems -h megabytes and gigabytes. Now you can see this /dev/sr8 here. I have from this I have mount point. What the mount point is? Media RHL 6.5. Okay. The thing is, I have inserted OS DVD into my system. Settings. Now when you go here, you can see this CD DVD. On the settings CD DVD, I have inserted this. Okay, I've connected this RHL 6.5. Okay, so from there only here, when you connect this OS DVD, and when you come to this location in the Linux machine, and when you go for dspace-h, then it will display you this command sr8 100%, and this is media. Okay. Now, if you in this media, if you want to change to that location, change means cd and slash what the writer name is first media. In Linux, we have a disadvantages. There is no need for you to type the entire thing. Just type first two characters and press tab key. And the next RH and tab key. Right? I moved there. ls. I have all these folders over here. I should have one folder by name packages. Can you see? I have one folder by name packages here. So if you go there, cd capital P, A, tab packages, enter. When you type ls here, you should find all the packages over here. See, all these packages are in my OS DVD. Okay, now I will do one thing. RPM space -qa. Q means query, A means availability, VSFTPD. Sorry, we'll go with VSFTP, enter. So previously we have verified this package was available. This package was available and it was showing, right? Okay, like this. So this package was package was available. Now I would like to remove this package. So if you want to remove this package, rpm space -e, where E stands for erase, VSFTPD. Enter. Now We can in the Linux we have one more important option, that is if you use up arrow, the previous commands will show it for you. So I'm trying to execute the previous command, vsftpd. So previously when I go for this rpm space hyphen qa vsftpd, it was showing this vsftpd package. But rpm space hyphen e, where e stands for erase and the package name, when I erase that, then everything is gone. So I don't have that package now, but I want that package now. So if you want that package, I need to install the package. So from where all these packages are, all these packages are in my OS DVD. I have already changed my location to that location where the packages exist. Let me once filter ls vsftp vsftp star. What is vsftp star? What that star means I don't know the exact path versions and everything. You can see it here. This is the entire full package name. After vsftpd we have 2.2.11.686.4.1 into x86. Isn't the path? I don't remember that entire path. So when you go for vls vsftpt star means, what the star will do is search with all the packages that start with vsftp only. Star means the rest whatever it is ఏమైనా ఉండని vsftp తో స్టార్ట్ అయితే దాన్ని డిస్ప్లే చేయమని చెప్పేసి. ls, does it displayed? Yes. Now when you go for vsf star, so like this మనకి ఇట్లా వస్తాయి అన్నమాట. ఓకే, వచ్చిన clarity. For example vsftp like d hyphen 3.3. Right. See, I have this vsftp version here. What the version is 2.2, but I have given 3.3 star. So what happens? It should not show anything. Why? Because it's a wrong path. So simply, if you want to know something, first type the 3 letters or 4 letters and press star. Star means you take care of the remaining thing. I don't know the remaining path here. You take care of the remaining path. ls. It will display. Now from here, I would like to install this package. So if you want to install the package, rpm space hyphen ivh and the package name vsftp and tab key, it will run automatically. So by using rpm space hyphen ivh, we are trying to install this package called vsftpt, where rpm space hyphen I stands, I means install, V means verbose, and that G means like just a minute. Hello. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Is it forever for the, is it forever or for like for some period of time? Oh, okay. Okay. Not actually the thing is I've been relieved on January 28th. 3 days back. Actually the scenario is I have like two offers in Pune, but the thing is on January 12th I was down with COVID. So I was not I was hospitalized in the hospital for 10-15 days here, and my parents are not instead they are not ready to send me back to Pune. They asked me to check something in Hyderabad only. So I'm looking something in Hyderabad. My total years of experience is 10.5 years. Relevant into Linux is 7 years. 10.5. Yeah. My current seat is 9.5 lakhs. So somewhere around like 13. My previous company is Kevin System Private Limited. That was my payroll company. I was supporting for UBS. United Bank of Swiss Bank. Actually, the thing is, yeah, current location is Hyderabad. Yeah. Mm. Okay, okay, fine. Right. Anytime. Hyderabad location means anytime. Fine, thank you, right. ఎత్తును ఇది ఎత్తును
ఫిబ్రవరి 7th
దేంట్లో
లాస్ట్
ఏ
అది షెడ్యూల్స్ అది నిన్నటికి
నేను అందరికి 28th లాస్ట్ డేట్ అని చెప్పేస్తున్నా కదయ్యా, ఇమీడియట్ జాయినింగ్ అని చెప్పేసి ఎందుకు మళ్ళీ ఫిబ్రవరి 7th పెట్టావా? ఇప్పుడే పెట్టావా? తింగర తింగర అసలు ఇక్కడ పోవాలగా అట్లా తింగర ఫిబ్రవరి 7th అని పెట్టావా? మోడిఫికేషన్ చేస్తే ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ మాట చెప్పు, ఎందుకంటే నేను అందరికీ చెప్పేస్తాను 28th రిలీవ్ అయిపోయాను, ఇంకా రెడీ అయిపోతాను, రెడీ టు జాయిన్ అని చెప్తున్నాను అనమాట. Okay, right. Sorry, I got some call for student. See this. When I go for this RPM space hyphen IVH, I stands for install, V stands for verbose. Verbose అంటే to show, బయటికి అవుట్పుట్ చూపెడతారు అనమాట. అంటే ఇన్స్టాల్ అయ్యేటప్పుడు బయటికి ఇన్స్టాలేషన్ ప్రాసెస్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ బయటికి చూపెట్టడానికి verbose. H means hashes. Like one thing is in Windows, when you try to install something, you might have observed that we will get one bar. In that bar, it will show you that 5% complete, 10% complete. Like this, it will show you the bar here. So like that here, it will show in the form of hashes, means these font symbols. Let me execute and you will get a clarity. Okay, now see this. RPM, Red Hat Package Management. I means install. So install this package. V means verbose. Show me the output like this. So it's showing the output like this now. To show the output like this, V. And H, installation process in the form of hashes. You can see it here. It is showing hashes like this one, 100% complete. In Windows, we'll get a bar, but here we'll get these hashes like this one here. So you can install like this. 1 minute. RPM space hyphen E VSFTPD. What I'm trying to do, E means erase. Then RPM space hyphen QA. I'm trying to check it out whether it's available or not. It's not there. Now what a command we used to install? RPM space hyphen IVH. Okay. The thing is, what I'll do is I will remove this V and H. Will the installation be successful? Yeah, the installation will be successful, but the thing is the installation process like this, that it is preparing and installing, installation process, all those things will not be shown. So if you want to show this output like this one here, we should have a verbose. V means verbose, to show the output from here, and H means the progress, how much it has been progressed, 5%, 10%, 100%, how much it is progressed. To know the progress, we have this H option. Let us see whether it been installed or not. Right, you can see the package has been successfully installed, RPM VSFTPD. This is how you can install a package in Linux operating system. If you want anything, everything comes in the form of this extension called RPM. So we can download that RPM and we can install that RPM. Okay. Now one thing, what is, especially when you go for this RPM here, RPM space hyphen QI VSFTPD. So RPM space hyphen QI, Q means query, I means information. Information means it displays the brief information about this RPM called VSFTPD. RPM space hyphen QI. QI means it displays the brief information about this RPM. Okay. So when you go for this QI VSFTPD, you can see this one here. This is my package name VSFTPD. Okay, you can see now here what is that 2.2.2 is version, and what is this 11.el64.1 is a release, and when it was installed on November 29, 2001. Okay, and at that time it was installed here, but time was not properly set here, that because that was showing like that. Okay, and this is the size. What the size of RPM is? This is the size in kilobytes. And for every package, when it comes, a signature will be identified like this one here. Okay, now package location here, especially who is the owner of this package. The Red Hat is the owner of the package, right? And what is VSFTPD? VSFTP stands for, you can see that here, very secured file transfer protocol daemon. Okay, and it will show you like this one here. VSFTPD is very secure FTP daemon. It was written completely from scratch. So sometimes in interview they will ask you, you've installed a package, whether the package is completely installed or not. How do you verify? How do you verify? So when you go for this command called rpm space -qa vsftpd, then it will show you here vsftpd. It is was written completely from scratch. Okay. Now one thing is, when you go for this rpm here, what is the rpm is nothing but when you install an rpm here, what is this rpm along with the rpm? What does it comes with? So if you go for this option called ql, means rpm space -ql. Q means query, L means list. It will list all the files that comes along with the package. Okay, so what the packages are like this one here. So all these are the files, right? So if you want to work on a VSFTPD, all these things are required. Okay, so if we along with the package is nothing, RPM is nothing but a bundle of files. It consists of all the execution files as well as these files and documents that are required for this RPM. 1 minute, RPM space -qd okay. QD, when you go for this RPM space -qd, means D means documents. It will display all the documents that comes along with the package. Okay, so 1 minute, for you guys, history. When you go for this history, it will display list of all the commands that I have executed. So you can see this RPM space -qa, where Q means query, A means list. It will display all the packages that are installed in my system. What is clear means clear the screen. RPM space -qa pipe grep VSFTPD. You can see RPM space -qa VSFTPD. It will display the package name. A means availability. E means erase, right? L means list the files. I means install. V verbose. H installation process in the form of hashes. Okay. L means list the files and document that comes along with the package. D means documents. It displays the document that comes along with the package. Okay. Fine. This is how the RPM is and how to install the RPM and how to erase the RPM. It's a very simple thing. Just we need to know the location of the package. One more thing. If you want to install the RPM, we need to go to the location where the RPM exists. Okay. Especially my packages, my RPMs exist in this location called packages. Let me do one thing, like RPM space -e VSFTPD. So what I'm trying to do, I remove the package RPM space -qa VSFTPD. I have removed the package. Okay. Now, if you want to install the package, as I say that I need to go to the location. Packages second location for example, root the present working directory root ls. We don't have any packages here. If I execute like this RPM space -ivh VSFTPD star, what is saying that file not found. అంటే VSFTP అనే ఫైల్ ఇక్కడ ఎక్కడా లేదు అని చెప్పేసి అంటుంది. అంటే మన ప్యాకేజ్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయాలంటే మనకి ప్యాకేజ్ కావాలి. ఆ ప్యాకేజ్ ఒక లొకేషన్‌లో పెట్టుంటాము. ఆ లొకేషన్‌కెళ్ళి అక్కడి నుంచి ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయాలి. ఓకే. లెట్ అస్ సీ సిడి హైఫన్. హైఫన్ అంటే ప్రీవియస్ వర్కింగ్ డైరెక్టరీలోకి వెళ్ళిపోమని చెప్పేసి. ప్రీవియస్‌గా నా వర్కింగ్ డైరెక్టరీ ఏంటి? ప్యాకేజెస్. ఈ లొకేషన్‌కి వెళ్ళిపోతాం. మై మీడియా ప్యాకేజెస్ ఇక్కడ. ఓకే. ఇక్కడికెళ్ళి నౌ ఇఫ్ యూ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ దిస్ rpm space -ivh you'll get that. Okay. So like this we can install the packages on these things.
Uninstall.
Uninstall. How to uninstall అంటే ఇదేంటి rpm space -e ఏంటి? erase అంటే uninstall కదా. And one more thing. Like we have one more option, rpm space -capital UVHVSFTPT, where capital U means upgrade. Ante, for example, my package version is 2.4, 2.2. My package version is 2.2, but if you want to upgrade from 2.2 to, like for example, 2.6 upgrade avali. If you want to upgrade my package from 2.2 to 2.6, then what you have to do is we need to download this 2.6 package. We need to go to the location where this 2.6 package is there, and from there we need to execute this command rpm space -capital UVH, where capital U ante upgrade. Okay. So this is how we can install the package and we can download the package. And one more thing, let me give you one story of this one packaging. Itla kaadu gaani, see this. I have father. Let's start with the grandfather. So grandfather, father, mother, brother, sister, and me. Okay. See, I'm the youngest. Above me I have my sister, and above my sister I have my brother, and above my brother I have my mother, father, and grandfather. So the seniority comes like this: grandfather, after that father, after that mother, big brother, sister, and me. Okay. So I am dependent on sister. My sister is dependent on brother. Brother is dependent on my mother. My mother is dependent on father. My father is dependent on my grandfather. Okay. Like for simple, one more clarification. A, B, C, D, E. Okay. For example, B depends on A. C depends on B. D depends on C. E depends on D. Okay. Suppose I want to install this package E. I can install that rpm space -ivh E. It will install the package. Fine, well and good. Okay. I'll try to install this package. I can do that. But the thing is, for this package to install, sometimes it asks for dependency. What are the dependencies? Boss, if you want to install E, you should have D should be already installed. D should already exist there. Then you can install E. And if you want to install D, you should have C. If you want to install C, you should have B. And if you want to install B, you should have A. For example, if you want to install E, how many dependencies are there? I have 5 dependencies. What are they? A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Let me show you one thing. rpm space -ivh libstar. So what I'm trying to is, I'm trying to install this package called libstar. Means all the packages that starts with lib. Now what it will do, it will keep on search for everything, what are the packages that starts with lib, and it will try to install it. Okay. If there are no dependencies, I can easily install. But you can see it here. Now what it is saying that, that if you want to install it, this many number of dependencies are there, some hundreds of dependencies are there. So for this lib orbit, this zip genome is required. For libgconf, this lib genome is required. Okay. For this cairo, like the zip genome canvas is required, like this. It's asking for all the dependencies. Got my point? In a similar way here, if I try to install this, for example, let me clear something. Remove this father, sorry, mother, and remove this me and my brother and me. See, I am dependent on my brother dependent on my father dependent on grandfather. If I try to install this grandfather package, rpm space hyphen ivh, okay, grandfather, I can directly install. Okay, but when I try to install my package here, like rpm space hyphen ivh me, I try to install my package, I'm a dependent. I depend on whom? My brother, my father, and my grandfather. So I need to install this first grandfather. After installing grandfather, I need to install this father. After installing father, I need to install this brother. Then you can install me. Okay. So for me, all these are the dependencies. So what the point I want to clarify is, so by using RPM, we can install a package. But we cannot install dependencies. Like this. By using RPM, we cannot install dependencies. Okay. So how do you overcome this? So if you want to install a package, RPM cannot install dependencies. This can be overcome by using a configuration called yum. It's called as yellow dog update modifier. What this yellow dog update modifier will do is, let me tell you one simple example here. Yum install a lib star. When you go for yum install lib star here, so it will display first list all the dependencies which are required for lib. For example, like this, it will list all the dependencies. Then it gives you one answer. Do you want to install it? Yes or no? If you say yes, then what happens? It will install all the dependencies by default automatically. It will install all the dependencies automatically. But RPM cannot install or pick dependencies automatically, whereas yum can install the dependencies automatically. So if you have thousands of dependencies, but if you want to do it only with RPM, so we need to install all the 1,000 packages one by one. But when you go for yum here, yum, it will install them fatafat automatically. It doesn't ask for any other things. So out of these two, RPM and yum here, so yum is more powerful. So what is this yum? How do you configure this yum? How can you install the package by using yum? How to remove the package by using yum? We need to configure it. How to configure it? These two things we'll see tomorrow in tomorrow's session. Okay.